Hello, y'all. I'm recording you. That would be Sarah and Miranda. Hello.
You moved like I just scared you.
It's Monday. Hello. Two things about the filming of this vlog. First of all, I'm pretty darn washed out. I think it's because the room behind me is so dark. I'm not entirely sure why. Well, okay, it's kind of dark outside. And I don't feel like turning the light on in my room, partially because it's a bit of a mess. And also, I don't feel like taking my glasses off and just filming blindly. So you're going to have to put up with all these wonderful glasses reflections. I've got a lot of news because this is a pretty crazy, awesome week. Mostly the weekend. The weekend is pretty crazy and awesome. First of all, we went to Dr. Templeton's house for a tea party. Oh, I should probably mention who Dr. Templeton is in case you don't know. He's the one who pays for our Templeton Honors College scholarships. It was at his house, and it's annual for the Honors College. And anyway, the most outstanding characteristic was the food. Outstanding among that was the shrimp. Now, whenever anybody says jumbo shrimp, it sounds like a laugh. First of all, because jumbo shrimp is just like an oxymoron. Second of all, because they're actually small anyway. The shrimp at this party were just ridiculously huge. They were like this big. I might possibly be exaggerating just a little bit, but if I am, it's just a little bit. And they were big shrimp. Like, I took 2 of them, and I was relatively satisfied after eating them, even though I hadn't eaten yet all day. This was on Sunday, by the way. I ought to tell you that. I'm being all out of order here. In addition to the shrimp, there were all kinds of crazy pastry-y things and asparagus and lots of cheeses and exotic cheeses and special other things. And the desserts were... there were a lot of crazy cheesecakey things and there were these little cheesecakes on a stick, too. I mean, they were just awesome. The really outstanding dessert was the fruit basket. Now, the fruits in this fruit basket weren't real fruits. They were the size and the shape and the color of fruits. And they were made to taste like the fruit that they were the size and shape and color of. There's a variety of them. But what they really were was sorbets. So I ended up with about this big white pear sorbet thing that's shaped like a pear, and it was amazingly good. Other people got giant raspberries. Okay, the raspberries weren't really true to size, but there were mangoes. They were amazing and tasty and quite enjoyable. Thank you, Dr. Templeton. In addition to that, I believe the main part of the meeting was a speech that Dr. Templeton gave, right in the smack dab middle of the whole tea meeting thing. He talked about Abraham Lincoln and stuff. And there actually was tea there, but it was not the focal point. And it was rather odd. The tea that I had, the tea bags were completely awesome. You know, most tea bags are like the little papery things that you could just break if you poke it too hard after it's been wet. And these ones were not so. These were actually loose leaf tea in a bag that was fabric-y. And I really didn't want to throw it out afterwards. I'm like, this thing, I mean, you could make a shirt out of it if you had enough of them. Or a blanket or a bug netting for some poor African kid who's going to die of malaria. And that actually really would be a good use for him. So I felt kind of bad once I'd open it. Okay, so that's the tea party news. Other news is that this past Friday was the production of I can never remember if it's the second or third, one of the Richards by Shakespeare. Some of our wonderful classmates put it on. I believe it was the first comedic production of it ever. It's a tragedy, and all these people die. Lots of people die. It's really awful. But we were laughing right through it just because it was funny. I think it's mostly Colin's fault. Paul would be somewhat to blame for it as well. But I'm going to show you clips from it and from King Lear. So you guys are getting a double dose of Shakespeare today. Which means I probably better stop talking so that you actually have time to see these. At any rate, here they are.
Now that we have divided in three our kingdom, it is our fast intent to shake all cares and businesses from our age, conferring them on younger strengths. Our son of Cornwall, and you, our son of Albany. We have this hour a constant will to publish our daughter of several dowers. The prince, France, long in court, has made his amorous sojourn, and here is to be answered. Tell me, my daughters, which of you shall say doth love us most, that our largest bounty may extend where nature doth with mere challenge? Goneril, our eldest born, speak first.
Sir, I love you more than words can wield the matter. Dearer than eyesight, space, and liberty. No less than life, with grace, health, beauty, honor, as much as child e'er loved or father found. So much I love you. I am made of that self-measure as my sister, and prize me at her worth. In my true heart I find she means my very deed of love, only she comes too short, that I profess myself an enemy to all other joys which the most precious square of sense possesses, and find I am alone solicited in your dear highness's love.
Now our joy, to whose young love the vine of France strives to interest, what can you say that draweth forward more opulent than your sisters?
Nothing, my lord.
Nothing will come of nothing, speak again.
Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty according to my bond, no more, no less.
How, Cordelia, mind your speech a little, lest you may mar your fortunes.
Good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back as a right fit, obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sisters husbands if they say you love you all? Haply, when I shall wed, that lord whose hand must take my plight shall carry half of my love with him, half my care and duty. I shall never marry like my sisters to love my father all.
Thy truth then be thy dower. Here I disclaim all my paternal care, propinquity, and property of blood, and as a stranger to my heart and me, hold thee from this forever.
Good my liege,
The bow is bent, make from the shaft.
let it fall rather, though the fork invade the region of my heart. Be Kent unmannerly when Lear is mad? What wouldst thou do, old man? Thinkest thou that duty shall dread to speak when power to flattery vows? Reserve thy state, and in thy best consideration check this hideous rashness. Answer my life, my judgment. This youngest daughter does not love thee least, nor those empty-hearted whose low sound reverbs no hollowness.
Out of my sight. You, sir, come hither, sir. Who am I, sir?
My lady's father.
My lady's father, my lord's knave, you horse on dog, you slave, you cur.
I'm not distraught, my lord.
Lordship, neither, you big football player.
Thank thee, fellow. Thou first service me, and I'll love thee.
Dost thou know the difference, my boy, between a bitter fool and a sweet one?
No, lad, teach me.
That lord that counseled thee to give away thy land, come place him here by me. Do thou for him stand. The sweet and bitter fool will presently appear. The one in motley here, the other found out there.
Dost thou call me fool, boy?
All thy other titles thou hast given away that thou wast born with.
So now it's time for that challenge I promised y'all. This upcoming week in your vlogs, I want you to have 30 seconds of straight footage during which you have a book balanced on your head. Thus. Have fun!